Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
We are going to read about an invention. All of us have or know about microwave ovens. Do you know how it was invented? We'll tell you something that you probably didn't know. I didn't know until I read this about the history or invention, accidental invention of the microwave oven.
我们这一篇文章的中文标题是意外化成商机，微波炉问世75周年。Accidental 就是意外的， Invention 是发明，所以英文的标题比较清楚一点，就是微波炉意外的发明。
Right. Okay, I'll read through it. More than 90% of modern families have microwave ovens in their dwellings. There is no better appliance for heating up food in a hurry. How did this remarkable invention come about? Surprisingly, the history of the microwave oven began with an accident in a military weapons laboratory. In fact, but for the invention of radar during World War II, microwave ovens might have never been created. In 1945, Percy Spencer was employed at the Raytheon Manufacturing Company. Spencer was working on a radar magnetron, which is a device that causes electromagnetic waves to vibrate. These waves bounce off objects, which can reveal how large and far away an object is. However, Spencer didn't realize that the same vibrating waves could also create sufficient heat to cook food. Spencer was next to the machine in his lab, trying to boost the strength of the magnetron's waves. After a test, he discovered a peanut butter candy in his pocket had completely melted. He was curious about the ability of the waves to heat other items. So he experimented with an egg, which blew up in his face. Then he tried corn kernels and treated his co-workers to popcorn after the experiment. In October 1945, Spencer filed a patent for a method of treating foodstuffs, which explained how the microwave process worked. In 1947, Raytheon began selling commercial microwave ovens. Priced at $5,000 and nearly 750 pounds in weight, they were too heavy and expensive for consumers. Then, smaller, more affordable microwave ovens became available in the 1950s. Spencer died in 1970, but his invention became all the rage. By 1975, millions of microwave ovens were being sold each year. What began as an accident had become a convenient new method for preparing food.
Okay, so more than 90% of modern families. What makes you a modern family as opposed to a pre-modern family? I would like to know. I guess whether you own a microwave. Anyways, 90% of people in the developed world, let's say, have microwave ovens in their dwellings. Dwellings is a fancy word to say home.
好，所以超过 90% 的现代家庭 modern families 在他们的 dwellings 在他们住处呢有一个微波炉。好 dwelling 这个字呢其实就是一个它就是表示住处的意思，它是比较正式也比较文学上常用的一个字，跟中文一样住处听起来就比较正式一点，它就是一个 residence R-E-S-I-D-E-N-C-E。
There is no better appliance for heating up food in a hurry.
I disagree. I'm just going to put out the humble 电锅 as an example. It is a far better way to heat your food.
But slower, I think.
It depends on how you use it, but also it makes it nicer.
Oh, yeah,
that's cooks. True. It cooks food. Microwave ovens just heat up food.
Right.
There's a big difference.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
All right, well, according to our article, there is no better appliance for heating up food in a hurry. If you want to eat something and you just have 5 or 10 minutes to get something ready, well, then this is the perfect invention, the microwave oven.
好，所以他说 There is no better appliance， 没有比以下要说的这个东西更好的家电了。好 ，appliance 就是一个用品，通常是电器用品。我们常常讲 a kitchen appliance， 就是厨房里面用到的电器用品。或者 a household appliance 就是家庭家电了所以没有什么比这个更好的家电了那 for 是目的如果你要做这件事情的话，没有比微波炉更好的家电了你要做什么事情呢？要 heating up food， 你要加热食物in a hurry， 在很匆忙的情况之下要加热食物，那尽快加热食物，那微波炉是大概是最快的。
And here's the inevitable question to introduce the idea of the article. How did this remarkable invention come about? If something is remarkable, it's worth talking about. To make a remark is to speak about something. So if it's remarkable, it is worth saying something about.
好，所以这个 remarkable 就是了不起的这个很值得我们一谈的这样的一个 invention， 这样的一个发明，它是怎么 come about， 就是 to take place, happen， 它是怎么发生的呢
？Surprisingly, the history of the microwave oven began with an accident in a military weapons laboratory. We don't usually think of defense weapons or offensive weapons as being the source of household items, but the microwave oven came out of an accident. This was not planned. Something happened that was not intended.It happened in a military weapons laboratory, and that's where we start to understand how the microwave oven came about.
好，所以 surprisingly 就让人觉得很意外的是，这个微波炉的历史 the history of the microwave oven began with 就是从什么开始从哪里开始呢？从一个 accident 开始，一个意外开始，而这个意外是在一个军事武器的实验室里面military weapons 就是武器laboratory 就是实验室。
In fact, but for the invention of radar during World War II, microwave ovens might have never been created. So microwave ovens were created because they were working on figuring out how to do radar.
那事实上呢 but for 就是要不是，这个 but for 后面呢常常会接一个would 或者 might， 通常就是 would might 最常见的would have 或者 might have， 意思就是说 but for 这个东西的话，另外一个东西可能 would have 就可能就是怎样了，或者 would not have 怎么样，就是不会怎样了。那在这里呢，就是如果不是 the invention of radar， 如果不是雷达的发明的话，这是在二次大战的时候，如果不是雷达的发明的话，那么微波炉 might have never 永远不可能说不定永远没有办法been created 被创造出来。这个地方你可以说 might have never， 那你如果要强调那个 never， 你放到前面来也可以 might never have been created 也可以。
In 1945, Percy Spencer was employed at the Raytheon Manufacturing Company. During the last year of World War II, a man, Percy Spencer, was working at the Raytheon Manufacturing Company, which is a private industrial company that was hired by the United States government to find weapons or things useful for a war effort.
好，那在1945年二次大战的最后一年呢，那 Percy Spencer was employed 就是受雇工作，在哪里呢？在这个雷神制造公司那这个私人公司，但他工作之一就是要制造或者研发武器。
Spencer was working on a radar magnetron. What is a magnetron? It's a magnet machine. At that time, like in the 50s and 60s, we loved to put ron or tron at the end of things to make it a machine. I remember when we would go to like the state fair, some of the like the rides were also ended with words like ron or tron. And it was just like, this is the machine for throwing you up into the air. So if you see that at the end of something technological, it usually means a machine. So a radar magnet machine. And this is what? A device. A device is any specific machine that has a purpose. So a tiny machine usually that has a purpose. So this device causes electromagnetic waves to vibrate. Electromagnetic is a thing that you can create by running electricity through a thing, and I don't really know how to explain magnetics. Nobody does. But these things exist, and you can make them vibrate in different ways. And one of the ways is using a radar magnetron. And that is actually how microwaves heat your food. They basically make the molecules inside your food vibrate. And then because they're moving, they get hot.
好，所以呢 Spencer 他当时是在 work on 就是指工作的对象，好，所以他可能在修理，可能在研发，可能是在调整一个 radar magnetron 啊，这个 magnetron 的中文叫做这个磁控管，它是一种会产生微波能的这个电的真空管。这里他也解释一下，因为这个字大概很多人不知道是什么，所以 which 就指这个磁控管呢是一个怎么样 device， 是一个装置，这个装置会 causes 会造成这个电磁波 electromagnetic 就是跟磁有关的，然后呢 waves 是波哈，所以刚刚讲那个 electromagnetic 就是电磁啦，好，所以它电磁波它会造成电磁波去干嘛呢 vibrate 去震动。
These waves bounce off objects, which can reveal how large and far away an object is. In fact, that's the whole point of radar, sending out electronic waves which will hit something and bounce back. And depending on the speed and distance, you can figure out quite a bit about objects which you might not even be able to see with your eye. For example, in air traffic, there are airplanes, they can be 20, 30, 40 miles away from an airport. You and I can't see them, but the radar can be focused on the airplane, and these waves travel very, very quickly, and then they come back so that air traffic controllers can know the distance and speed and altitude. They know everything about the airplane.
好，所以呢，这些电磁波呢，它会 bounce off， 会从什么上弹出来、弹走。好，所以它们会从 objects 从物体上面弹起来、弹走啊。那这样子呢，就可以 reveal， 可以显示，可以 show， 可以 make known how large and how far away an object is。那这个东西到底有多大，距离多远啊，就可以靠这个雷达波的或者电磁波的这个反射就可以知道了。
Also, if it's moving, you know its speed and its direction.
那如果这个物体在移动的话，你也可以测出它的方向还有它的速度哈。其实基本上雷达就是这样在运作的。
This is the work I did in the military.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Besides airplanes, ships also use this, yes?
Yes.
And anyone else?
Ships, for surface ship.
Yeah.
For submarines, they use sonar.
Sonar, yes.
SONAR. And now there's LIDAR.
Right, which I don't really understand.
It's the same as radar, but they use light instead of sound.
That's what I don't understand. How?
LIDAR. Look it up.
Yes, okay. So anyways, however, Spencer, doing this research to develop radar to begin with, he did not realize that the same vibrating waves could also create sufficient heat to cook food.
Yay.
好，但是呢 Spencer didn't realize that 他不知道，他不了解 the same 同样的这个 vibrating waves 就是震动波可以创造出来 create sufficient heat 足够的热来 cook food 来烹煮食物他并不知道这一点。
Well, the next paragraph, this third paragraph, tells us how Spencer figured out or found out about his microwave oven. Spencer was next to the machine, the radar magnetron, in his lab. Lab is short for laboratory. This is the place where people do research in science, in health, and medicine, and so on. Trying to increase the strength of the magnetron's waves, so that he was thinking, well, we would like to see aircraft or other things very far away. So if we use a more powerful wave, maybe we can see things that are 100 miles away.
好，所以呢 Spencer 他当时呢 was next to 他就在什么旁边呢？在这个机器，就他这个产生这个电磁波的机器旁边在他的实验室里面。那他试着要干嘛呢？要 boost 就是增加 to raise 或者 increase 的意思。他要增加 the strength of 要增加什么的力量呢？增加这个磁控管的震波的力量 the magnetron's waves 它产生出来的这个震波他希望能够加强它的力量。
After a test that he did with the machine, he discovered a peanut butter candy in his pocket had completely melted, which makes you wonder what it was doing to the rest of his body, but whatever.
Exactly.
He's like, so his peanut butter melted, and he's like, huh. And because he's a scientist, he began to think about what that could mean. He didn't just go, oh, that's weird. He was like, I wonder where this could go.
Yeah, now after a test, 在测试过之后呢 he discovered 他发现一个 peanut butter candy 就是类似花生糖了，在他的口袋里面呢完全的融化了啊。那这个刚刚 Angela 老师提到一个我觉得是很重要的问题，就是他把他口袋的那个花生糖能够弄到融化，那其实对他身体一定会有影响。那其实我家里面没有微波炉哈，因为这个我从小就听几个医生啊，还有这个学工程人说微波炉其实是有危险的，因为它的加热方式好像是把它里面的分子结构会产生某些影响啊。当然我不是专家，但是这个我总是觉得这个有一点奇怪哈。那所以最重要一点就是你家里有微波炉你用没关系，但是呢你一定要站在那个微波对你伤害最小的地方，听说那个就是正面，因为微波炉的正面它会做很多保护装置，让那微波不会伤害到你。
He was curious, Spencer was curious about the ability of the waves to heat other items, not just peanut butter candies. So he experimented with an egg, which blew up in his face.
And that's because of the shell. If he had put the egg in a dish, it would have cooked fine. But because the shell didn't allow the egg to expand, it had to go somewhere, so it broke the shell dramatically.
That makes sense.
那这个刚刚 Angela 说是因为那个蛋壳的关系。好，我们先看这个句子，他说他很好奇 he was curious about 对于什么很好奇呢？对于 the ability of the waves 对于这个震波的能力来 heat other items 看他能不能加热其他的东西。所以呢他就 experimented with 就是以这个为做实验。他以什么做实验呢？他用蛋来做实验。 He experimented with an egg. 结果呢这个蛋 blew up 就 explode E-X-P-L-O-D-E in his face 就当着他的脸炸开来，也就是说炸得他满脸都是。那刚刚 Angela 说那是因为那个蛋壳的关系，好，那个膨胀的系数不同啊等等就会炸开来。那如果你把这个蛋打在碗里面的话，就不会这样炸开来。
This man was really putting his body on the line for science. But anyways, he thought about exploding things and went, and because he's a scientist, he tried corn kernels. Because a kernel is a seed of corn, right? Which you can use to make popcorn. And he's like, well, if eggs explode, maybe the popcorn will explode. Let's find out. And it worked. And he treated his coworkers to popcorn after the experiment. Would you like the first microwave popcorn ever created?
Sure.
Here you go.
所以呢 he tried 在这里呢当及物动词就是以什么什么作为尝试，用什么尝试，所以他用什么来做尝试呢？用这 corn kernels 就是玉米粒来做尝试，那当然炸出来就是爆米花了。所以接下来他说 treated his coworkers to popcorn。 那各位注意这种结构， you treat someone to something， 那就是请这个人，那个 to 类似中文吃的意思， treat someone to something 就请人吃什么东西，所以他就请他的 coworkers他的同事呢吃爆米花。然后 after the experiment 在这个实验过后就成功了，因为炸出来的是爆米花，就请他们吃了。
Okay, our last final paragraph. In October 1945, now this was after both the European and Japanese theaters of war finished, Spencer filed a patent. A patent is a legal protection for something that a person invents or writes, whether it's a book or music. It protects you. Whatever you made first is yours, and then you can earn money from it, and no one else can, if you have the patent, no one else can take away your business. The patent was called Method of Treating Foodstuffs. Now, Wesley just mentioned treat someone to something. The treat here is very, very different. Method of treating foodstuffs is a fancy word for food. You don't need stuffs. Treat means to deal with something, to do something to it in order to change it in some way, which explained, his patent explained how the microwave process worked and works. The patent is probably still on file.
好，所以1945年的10月呢 Spencer filed a patent 就是申请专利 专利要申请什么做专利呢？它的专利名称叫做 Method of Treating Foodstuffs。好 ，treat 就是处理，所以就是烹调或处理食物的方法。那在它这个专利里面呢 ，which explained 它解释它的这个微波的过程 ，the microwave process， 它是 how it worked， 它是怎么样运作的。
So in 1947, Raytheon began selling commercial microwave ovens.
好，所以呢，1947年呢，雷神公司就开始卖这 commercial， 就是商品化的这个 microwave ovens 微波炉。
Priced at $5,000 and nearly 750 pounds in weight, they were too heavy and expensive for consumers. Back in 1947, you could buy a house for US $5,000. 750 pounds is a little bit difficult to move around the kitchen.
Yeah. 所以在当年你看它 priced at 那个当时最早的微波炉定价是$5,000啊，那这个Bruce 说在那个年代$5,000可以买一个房子了。然后呢 nearly 它几乎重750这个磅啊，那很重，所以他们 they were too heavy 太重了，而且呢 expensive 也太贵了 for consumers 对于一般的消费者来讲又贵又太重了。
So I guess for a money-making scheme that wasn't very successful.
Not at that point.
But then a smaller, more affordable microwave oven became available in the 1950s. I said a smaller microwave oven, but the sentence said smaller, more affordable microwave ovens. So I used a singular to represent all microwave ovens, but they used the simpler way to do it to say ovens, the plural to represent all of the ovens that were sold then.
好，所以呢，这个我们先看这个句子，他说接着呢比较小，然后呢 more affordable 就是大家比较买得起的这样的 microwave ovens 啊，那这个地方它是用复数，就泛指这样子的微波炉。那 Angel 老师他刚刚用的是单数，用单数加普通名词也可以代表这种东西的整体啊，就是他用一个来代表全体也可以啊，所以意思跟这个 microwave ovens 在这里意思是一样的。那在比较他这里谈到比较负担得起的这种微波炉呢，变得可以 available， 就是你能买得到了，就已经可以买得到比较负担得起的微波炉了。这个是在1950年代所发生的事情。
Spencer died in 1970, but his invention became all the rage. So Mr. Spencer lived until 1970, but microwave ovens certainly did not die away. Just the opposite. They became very, very popular. And in fun English, we would say something is all the rage. Everybody was doing it, liking it, buying it, and so on.
好，那个 rage 就是风潮，好，所以 something is all the rage 就是蔚为风潮，哈，就是大为流行的意思。所以 Spencer 1970年的时候就过世了，哈，这个也没有很长寿，哈，但是呢，他的发明的东西呢，就变得非常的红，大为风行。
And then by 1975, which is 30 years after the man first melted a candy bar in his pocket, millions of microwave ovens were being sold each year.
所以呢，到1975年啊，也就是他这个花生糖融化了之后的30年呢，数百万个微波炉每年都被售出，换句话说，已经大受欢迎了。
What began as an accident had become a convenient new method for preparing food. And I must say, I'm terrible with machines except radar. But I can operate a microwave oven.
Well, that makes sense. You can do radar and you can do microwaves.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. 好，所以这个句子呢，各位注意到这种句型 ，What began as 什么什么，然后呢，后面通常就会 has become 哈，或者 had become 或者 turned out to be 哈，都有这种感觉。所以一开始只是个 accident， 但后来变成了一个 convenient new method， 一个很方便的新方法 for preparing food， 用来准备食物、烹煮食物，一个很方便的方法。
Okay, we want to know, what did you learn?
好，那我们来看看大家学会了什么。那看看第一题是什么呢？
What was the first food heated with electromagnetic waves?
第一个被电磁波加热的食物是什么呢？
Of course, it was a peanut butter candy.
那当然就是花生糖。
And number 2, in what year did microwave ovens hit the market?
那微波炉是在哪一年上市的呢？
The super expensive, super heavy, unaffordable ones hit the market in 1947.
好，那个很笨重很贵的那一个款式呢，是在1947年上市的。
Okay, that's it for today's lesson. Until then.
Bye-bye.
拜拜。